Well, I've decided I'm going to build a saw bench here. I don't have one, and I do some hand saw work. So I've seen this design with, you know, the traditional one has a V in it, but this one's clear all the way across. And I got this design from Bill Schenher, Schenher, or BillysLittleBench.com, and it's pretty easy to find. He's also on YouTube. But I like the fact that it's clear through here, and it looks like a pretty sturdy design. So the first thing to do is to decide how high it should be. So that needs to fit the individual. So to decide how tall my saw bench should be, I've got the chair here, and I put these 2x4s on here because the chair is too low, so I added some height to it. So this is with 3 2x4s, and that's about 20 inches high, and but it feels a bit high for my knee, because the workpiece would then be on top of that. So I'm going to take one off, and so now we're at about 18 3/4 inches there, and that feels much more comfortable for me anyway, for the height of the saw bench, because then the workpiece sits up on top of that, and this is a piece of 8/4. And of course you use your knee to hold it in place to make the saw cut. So I'm high enough off the floor so that the saw doesn't hit it, and it still feels pretty good with an 8/4 piece. A 3/4 piece or 1 inch piece, which would be typical, would feel even better. So I don't think I want it any higher than 18 3/4, and so we'll give it a shot at that height. So I've got some common lumber here, 2x12s, that I can rip, and all of his dimensions in the plan are 5 inches wide. So that's what we're going to start with. So and it's all 1.25 inches thick. So we can flatten it and mill it to size. I would imagine 1.5 inches would work if you didn't have a joiner and planer to take it down to 1.25 inches, but we'll start by flattening it. Well, there we have it, all milled to 1.25 inches. So now to start working on the legs. So I'm gluing up the leg or foot stock, I guess you would call it. Anyway, we've got to cut out the feet and then mortise these for the 2 5-inch pieces that are on the side. So he has it, this is the 1.25 inch stock, so it's 2.5 inches. And I haven't cut them to size yet, but just a matter of applying a little glue to the inside of the 2 feet, clamp them up, and wait for them to dry, and then we'll mortise them. Now in his video, when he makes it, he doesn't use a hollow chisel mortise, or he cuts the mortises before he glues them together, which you could do, but I'm not going to do it that way. So just a matter of clamping, and we'll let these dry, and we'll work on another part. Well, while I'm waiting for the feet to dry, I thought I'd cut the tenons. So I've got my tenoning jig here on the table saw. They need to be 3 inches long to go clear through the feet, and I'm making them a 1/2 inch thick. So I've got a piece of scrap here, and so now I've got these are the 5-inch legs, so they need a tenon on each of them. There's 4 of them, so we're gonna cut those now. Well, I'm laying out the dovetails now for the 2 tops of the saw bench, and you can see I use my marking gauge here to mark off the width of the sides, which is 1.25 inches, and then I just arbitrarily picked 2 different sizes there. So we got 3/4 even on the pins, and then this is about 1 inch, 1.125 inches, something like that, 1.25 inches for the tails. And then the slope is just, again, arbitrary. I think it's 14 degrees, which is fairly typical for a dovetail, and I'm sure that'll work. So we'll just get to sawing them here. With the dovetail saw. Just have to repeat the process on the other lines and then chop them out. Last of this is the first time I've used this Mox and Vise, and it seems to be pretty sturdy, but there's obviously some vibration going on here, or else my marking gauge wouldn't be falling off the other bench. So that's pretty much it as far as cutting the dovetails. I'll saw this back this way, saw it in here, and then we've only got to worry about chopping out the middle one, which we could do with a coping saw or chisel. Sawing out the end of the dovetails here. There you have it. Chopping out the center dovetail here. We do half on one side and then turn it over. knocked it out. One more to go. Cutting out the pins now. You just want to make sure you stay on the waist side of the line. There you have it. All we do is got to remove chop that out. Chopping out the pins now.
Made the whole world swing and still does today. The concert features Cleveland Pops Orchestra with popular Nicholas Barbara Knight, Jack Shantel on drums, Rockwell and trombonist Ranger. For information, Cleveland Pops website. So we will have tickets for that concert Saturday night at 8 to the first correct answer on the quiz today. 1996, I will play a cue. I'll tell you the name of the cue, and you tell me the name of the music by Farewell. The cue is called Sweets to the Sweet Farewell. Name the movie. 1-800-343-WCLD. 1-800-343-9258. It helps if you know Shakespeare. Here's what's that?
See how well they fit. Pretty good. One down, 3 to go. Well, I've set up here to cut the mortises into the feet, and these are 2 1.25 inch pieces, 3 inches wide, and there are a number of ways, of course, to put the mortises in there. You could do it by hand, you could drill it and then chop it out. You could cut the mortises halfway through before gluing it up, which might be easier, but anyway, I have the hollow chisel mortiser here, and that's what I'm going to use. I have a 1/2 inch tenon, and I've marked out where it belongs here, leaving 1.5 inches here in the center for the gap which goes between the 2 sides. So with the tool that I have here, I've got the XY base. So just a matter of lining it up, getting it into the center. And then cutting all the way through it. So I put feet onto the bottom of this. In his example that he has, his is solid all the way across, but I think this will make it easier to level out. So I've only got this much material left to mortise through. Dry fitting the rough construction and it's going okay. This board here has got twist to it, so I'm going to have to clamp it pretty good or plane it a little bit to get it to square out, and I've still got to round over the legs, but overall it's a sawhorse. It sits pretty solid now without the stretchers on it, but I got to add the stretchers yet. So you have two of them. There's one that goes up here, and then the smaller one that's down here that are dovetailed into the side. So we'll do that next. So it's coming along.